I've been thinking a lot, and I really like how the camber looks in the back because it looks completely even to the front, in my opinion. But I'm gonna swap out my rear lower control arms, the Godspeeds, for my stock ones again and put the stock toe arms back on, and I'm gonna see if that cures the issue of my swaying car. A lot of people are saying sway bars and shit, but I ran this car without sway bars in the front for a long time and it was completely fine. So the only thing I can think of is the added camber in the back. So I'm gonna change those out and we're gonna see if that keeps this car driving straight. And I'm gonna see if I actually like the back being straight again, because I'm only using like a quarter of my tire, or like half of my tire right now. And I'm not really into that. So it should be a quick thing. Just gonna swap it, drive it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I don't even know. Back to the drawing board. But I'm gonna put in the Whiteline lower ball joints and the Whiteline outer tie rods. I got them right there. They are supposed to fix the geometry of a lowered car, and my car is pretty low in the front. It's pretty low all around. So I'm already struggling. This is spinning for the lower ball joint, and this is spinning for the outer tie rod. So I'm gonna cut these off. I'm gonna cut this one off first because that'll be easier to replace. And I'm gonna take a chance and cut this one off too, right at the nut, and try to press out the old one and press in a new one and make this as painless as possible. I will update if that works, because right now my gun isn't even taking these off, they're just spinning, and I don't really feel like going through hell. I already loosened this so I can put on the new outer tie rod. But that's it. I mean, once I get it off, fuck it, we'll see. And I got the I rented the tool to get it out, so we'll fucking see. I cut it off. I cut it off at the bottom because I figured I didn't want to ruin this little, you know, this little wall that this has, or gusset, whatever you want to call this. So I cut it off right at the bottom. Cut this one off. This came out perfect, and I can now unthread this, so I'm not worried about that at all. This is pressed in here, so we will see. Worst case, I'll take a hammer and just try to beat it out, but I do have the press. I'm going to try to do that at least halfway right, because I already did cut a bunch of corners. Like, fuck all that. So I'm going to try to get that out, and I'll let you guys know how easy it is. Rejoice! It came out. This tool actually fucking worked. Hell yeah. So now I'm gonna press in the new one. I'm gonna press in the new lower ball joint, and I still need to figure out how I'm gonna get this shit out. I'm just gonna heat it up most likely and beat the shit out of it continuously. But as long as I have this in and that, I'm cool. Actually, yeah, so I'm gonna work on this first. As soon as I get this out, I can throw this all back together and chop out the other side. I'm heating the shit out of it. I'm gonna probably do this until it glows red, and then I'll try to slap it out. I finally got that out. I had to cut it a little bit, but it worked out. I used this press actually to press that out. So you press from the top down. Now with the Whiteline lower ball joint, you're gonna go from the bottom up and make sure you don't, you know, break the boot. Just kind of shimmy it up in there. Just gonna make sure there's no like pinching or anything being done. It looks good. All right, so I just felt around, made sure it wasn't pinched. And now we're gonna take the press and flip it upside down. So when you screw it in, it pushes the ball joint from the bottom up. No fucking videos on YouTube show you how to do this. So I'm gonna do it. I wish I had a tripod, but I don't. So like I said, it's upside down. This is pushing on the ball joint. This is around the top of the ball joint. And this is so the little pole can go up in there without fucking anything up. And I'm literally just gonna twist until it presses all the way in. It's actually going just by hand. You can kind of see it. So that's fucking hard. So I'm gonna get my ratchet with a 22mm socket. And just tighten that until it goes in. You can kind of see it pressing in. So I'm gonna do that and it'll be pretty much done. I'm just gonna press that until it goes all the way in and make sure that nothing is pinching. Fuck. All right, so that's in as far as I believe it will go. I mean, it looks nice and flush, so I don't see any issues with that. And that should be good. I'm gonna throw the spindle back on the suspension so I don't ruin the ball joint, you know, moving it around and shit. And I mean, it seems good. It seems nice and solid compared to the other one. The other one was so bad. It looked good, but it was really bad. Then I'm gonna do the outer tie rod. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna undo that. I'm not gonna move the nut, so I know exactly where I was. I'm a nut. And these weren't awful, but they moved by hand, you know? They moved pretty easy. Even by finger, I think I can, yeah, see? That's not it, man. So hopefully I'm hoping this fixes my issue. We will see. Finally all finished. This is what the carnage looks like. I cut the lower ball joints, like I said, and got them out that way. I cut this outer tie rod, the end off, but this outer tie rod actually came off. Both of them are very loose. Like, I'm not putting not much force to move that. I hope that the Whiteline stuff fixes my issue of the car wanting to kind of sway back and forth when I slow down and just kind of not feel planted. I do not have my front sway bar on because I have so much camber in the front that it hits the back of the wheel well. So I might have to massage that in at some point and put the sway bar end links on. But for now, I'm gonna see if this works out. It should work fine. That's really what I hope. Both the wheels look exactly the same again. The same amount of camber. I will actually just did that to turn the wheel. You can see the lower ball joint right there, the outer tie rod, both pretty damn good. Suspension's in there nice and good. You can see that scratch right there is from the sway bar end link hitting the back of the wheel well, so I might have, like I said, massage that in. But for now, these are in and they look really good. I just hope, again, that they solve my fucking issue, because I'm not taking this shit apart again. I do want an angle kit in the future. I don't drift professionally, or I don't even drift at tracks or anything, but I want to try at some point. So, you know, I'll throw some shitty wheels in the back and see how I do at some point. But for now, I have these big 10.5s in the front and 13s in the rear. Definitely not something I could go to the track with and perform on, but I like how it looks. Actually, that's my reverse light as well. At night, it's wicked bright. That's really it. So I'm gonna test this out and we'll see what happens.